Welcome back to another Trade Journal video. This is Trade Journal number 15. I'm going to start off by talking about my trades for this week and then jumping into what I have set up for next week. So kind of similar to the previous weeks, I have been focused on trading Peloton and specifically a covered call. So the covered call for this past week, as you can see here, I own the stock at 130.91, which you can see by the blue line. And I sold a call option at the $125 strike price on last Friday, so 10:30 right here on this candle. And this had a max profit of $400. So if the price stayed below 125, then I get to keep the $400 and nothing happens. If the price finishes above that price point, then I get to keep the $400, but I also get my stock taken away, which I have at 130.91, and I'd be forced to sell it at 125 for a certain amount of loss. So as you can see, kind of early in the week, the price stayed about the same, and then the price started to move higher up. As I saw this happening, I decided to roll my position, and what I actually did was yesterday on November 5th, I rolled the position, and what that means is basically you are either changing the strike price at which you're selling the call, or you're moving out the time. So instead of expiring this Friday, it might expire, let's say 2 weeks or 3 weeks out. And you can do a combination of moving the price higher as well as the expiration. What I ended up doing was closing out my call for $405. So I got $400 for selling the call, but then I had to buy it back for $405. So that put me at negative $5. But what I did was I sold the 128 call for $305. So that would then put me at a net $300 as max profit. Let me go ahead and move this line to the new spot. So I was selling the contract at the 128, and as you can see here on Friday, the price started to spike up early in the trading day and then started to pull back down. What I ended up doing was, because this sold contract had already made a good amount of money, I decided to go ahead and close it out when the price was right around here, around 127. And I was able to close this contract for plus $202, which is great. So that put me at a net profit for $197 this week, and I still own the stock at 130.91. And then kind of jumping into next week's trade, seeing as I still own 100 shares and the price was kind of around this level, when the price started to go a little bit higher, I sold another contract expiring next week at $130. So let me go ahead and move this red line to the new spot. So now, as long as the price finishes below this red line by next Friday, I get to keep the full amount, which has a max profit of $340. Assuming it goes above that point, I get to keep the $340, but I will get my shares taken away from me, which would be me selling my 130.91 shares at $130. So there would be a $90 deduction from my $340. I know there's like a lot of numbers and a lot of math. When you're rolling your position, you kind of have to make sure that the numbers make sense and that you're not actually just, increasing your loss. You want to make sure you're rolling out or you're rolling up in price in the right way so that you can kind of manage your risk for these types of options trades. And I'll definitely do a video in the future talking about how I roll my positions and the things that I look for when doing that. But yeah, those are my trades for this week. We'll see how this plays out. Hopefully Peloton stays close to this level, and I'll update next week. As always, feel free to leave any questions or comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next week.